It's being sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, guys, this segment's being sponsored by Taylor's Archery. Y'all can find them at 100 East Lauderdale Street over in Tullahoma, Tennessee, or give owner Tracy Taylor a call, 931-563-7706. Let him take care of all your archery needs. Go down there and take advantage of that indoor range he's got. Tell him thank you for everything he does for our kids in the archery programs. All right, welcome back. If y'all want to call in, y'all go ahead and call in now if you'd like, 615-737-7767, and we're going to keep on talking tonight about, we've been talking about kind of where we're at right now in the phases of the rut, and we're basically in a lockdown right now. It's kind of where we're at in that phase of the rut. Then he'll go right back into seek, you know, like Randall, like you said, once he's locked down 2 or 3 days, he's going to go back into seek mode, and that may last 20 minutes, or it may last another day, however long it takes him, you know, in pursuit. But nonetheless, this is it's a time of year when you're not seeing as many, especially big deer on their feet, just running around and moving like you were a few weeks ago. However, I think, in my opinion, and I was talking to Wes about this, he agreed with me a little bit too, but if you can get them in your, you know, in your realm where you can hunt at, I think a lot of times it's one of the better times to get one and be successful at getting him, if you can catch him in your area. Right. What we would typically do, you know, in our case, I had a deer, I think it was 2 seasons ago, Dayton, we had it run on here, that real wide deer that I was able to get a couple seasons ago, but that deer was an example of a buck that I had seen, or Jack actually saw him first 2 days prior to that, and he took a doe into this little thicket, just a little small thicket. Jack saw him go in there, we knew where he was at, and for the next 2 days we got in 2 stands that, you know, were kind of catty corner off this area, and we just waited on him. That's the thing, is you still don't want to go crashing in there after him, but by being right there, knowing he's in there, you know he's not going anywhere. It's just a patience game.
Yeah, that's right.
But you know he's there, so you have so much more confidence because he's in that area, and now either she may come out, you know, because she's more timid and she's going to be more secretive at that point in time as far as being out in the open, but still she's probably going to come out and get her a little bite to eat, maybe, or something might bring him out. But I think what I'm looking for most of the time, and I mentioned a little bit earlier, but it's one of those young bucks getting in there and getting close to him or something. A lot of times that'll break him off that just long enough, even if it's 30 yards to bring him out the edge of that field. But I think just getting in there and sitting close to them, Randall, being patient, it's a great time of year to be able to get in there and get a buck that you might not catch in the daytime much throughout the year.
This is the time when you look at a spot, you look at a scrape. You've got 100 scrapes around here like this. But then you find one at a corner or where an old logging road goes in there somewhere or something, and it's like that, you know, and it's go all to pieces. But when you find that, know that is where you're going to be. That's where you're going. That's where I'm going to hunt.
That's right.
I'm not moving anywhere. I'm not going to go try to find him. He's right there somewhere. You know? And it's just a time that he comes in. But he will take off, and his does will take off if you go crumbling in there like you're picking blackberries or something. You know, you just can't do that.
That's right.
You got to let him have that space, you know.
It's more about staying back off of them, and that's something that you preach a ton, and you taught, and you know, have taught me a lot of things about it, but I learned even more from you in the last couple of weeks. But, you know, once you find that area, and I've seen you do it now, but I mean, you will leave it and wait until, you know, hey, this afternoon the wind's going to be right, or he's going to be, you know, and you're going to leave, and you're not even going to come back until you know the timing is right, and you can wait on him to come out there to that scrape or that edge when he leaves that doe, or again, she may bring him out there. You never know. But that's absolute truth, is they might act stupid, so to speak, but they're not stupid. You can't just go busting in there on them because you know, hey, I know he's in that little area thicket. Well, he is, but like I mentioned earlier, if she goes 5 miles, he's going 5 miles. So you don't want to go in there and bust her out of there. You're going to cause yourself heartache at that point. But we've got a few calls coming in. Let's go ahead and grab one here. Gary, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How about y'all?
Doing great. We appreciate you calling.
Hey, first time caller, but I've been watching your show for many, many years.
Well, we appreciate that very much.
Yes, a question I've got is, last week I shot at a 10-pointer that I thought I had gotten a pretty good hit on. I had blood. I tracked him for 2 hours even after dark. And long story short, I saw the same buck late yesterday afternoon just before dark, and he was limping a little bit. So I must have got him somewhere near the front upper leg area, somewhere around in there. And my question is, do you think there's still a good chance that I may see this same buck? Because he's on somebody else's property right now. And he was over there on the property I'm hunting on last week chasing does. Is there a chance that he may come back over there, or is he going to probably just be nocturnal?
No, absolutely. There's a chance of him still being over there.
Sure.
We've heard stories of bucks and seen bucks, in the same type of situations, be back in the same field the next day. So I don't think that's going to be an issue for you. He's just over at the neighbors right now because that's where she's at right now. That's where he wants to be.
Yeah, he's around there. He won't leave unless you run him off.
Yeah, he won't. And they're survivors. And while you think, oh man, he's limping, I'm telling you, in a couple of weeks you might not ever know that anything happened. But he's just going to go right on about life like it was, and it's not going to make a difference, in my opinion, unless you're running him off, like Randall said, whether he comes back through there or not. He doesn't know the deal. He doesn't know what went on, and the key thing is just not human presence is what'll ruin it more than anything. Is just human presence, keeping that down as much as possible.
And they're animals, man.
But yes, certainly you got a good chance of still getting him. I would stay right in there
I
on him.
always try to keep a low profile.
There you go.
And so that's, in fact, I'm probably not even going to hunt this weekend.
Right.
And I'm just going to give him some more time, and then maybe Monday or Tuesday next week, get back out there and see what happens.
Yeah,
he's back at what he was doing when you shot him now.
Yeah.
Hey, would a broke finger ever stopped you? No. When you were a young boy? Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be just fine. Good luck to you. I hope you send us a picture here in a couple weeks. Make sure you send us one if you get him.
You've done good leaving him alone.
I sure will.
Yeah,
Thanks for taking my question.
Absolutely. Have a great night.
All right, y'all too.
Yeah, that's something you hear, off and on, or they missed him. I missed a buck. It was, a matter of fact, it's funny. I just said that he's right there above you, Dayton. But that buck right there, I missed him. Clean missed him at 80 yards, broadside with a muzzleloader. And man, I was down in the dumps. I mean, for a couple of days, I thought, I will never see that deer again. He's gone, he's out there. And the very next Saturday, in the very same tree stand, here he came. And it's same field.
That's when it felt better than it did the first time.
It did, and because again, I thought at the time, man, we have got this set up just right. He came in here, everything just like he was supposed to, and I ruined it. But that taught me, little lessons like that you just learn through doing it, of course, over the years. But that taught me right then that he didn't know. He didn't know if that was a clap of thunder or whatever. There's a big difference in going in there and pushing one out and something spooking him out. For example, being like a vehicle, when we have food sources that we'll hunt, so sometimes you'll get pinned up there, in the evening, you'll get pinned up in a stand or something. Well, what I'll do is I'll call Jack, let's say, for example, if he's there hunting, and get him to just drive a truck up there through the field, come up here, and I'll, get out of the stand of the blind, get right in the truck, drive out of there. Don't bother them deer a bit. But you come out of there on foot and you walk down through them deer on foot, and now you're talking a different ball game. It's completely different, human intrusion versus like a vehicle or something. People will say, well, a four-wheeler will run every deer off your property. I'm not saying you can't scare one with one, but if I had to go through my food plots, let's say, for example, before daylight on a four-wheeler or on foot, if you got to go through those deer, you're going to bother them more on foot, especially if your wind's wrong. And now, people argue with me on that, and that's fine, but when we got to where we had no choice, say, for example, with Dad, we learned that it doesn't bother them as bad as being on foot does. What do you think about that, Randall?
Well, I hadn't been able to hunt this year, you know, and I didn't go to the woods to hunt till last Saturday, opening day of muzzleloader. So I went up there the day before where I was going to go. Sure enough, there was a big old scrape there. I didn't go anywhere else. I went back down. It was beside a cornfield at the top of a hill. And there's a core area back there. Core area is where them deer live, just a big old cedar and pine thicket. I got up standing the next morning and I shot him at 6 o'clock. Shooting time I think was 5:55 or something like that. So, but my truck, I'm looking at my truck right there, because I could drive right up there to him. There's deer all over the place. I drove my truck right up there where I could walk right to that stand within 30, 40 yards of it. And I got up there.
Yeah.
None of them deer paid any attention to my truck. Well, this old deer, when I shot him, he run down behind my truck, you know. I jumped him twice, and he got up one more time. He got back to that core area, and I stopped. My nephew was there with me, and I asked him if he'd ever seen a coon hound or any kind of a hound dog do any work. He says, no, and I said, would you like to? So I said, I'm going to call somebody and let them track this old deer. I was just enjoying hunting. Like I say, that's the first time I'd been in the woods.
Yeah, been out there all year.
I was just ready to go hunting, you know. So we called, what's it?
Justin Miller.
Justin
I know
Miller.
who you called already. Brought Hank out there, didn't
Yeah, they brought old Hank out there. Man, he took off, you know, and he went right down there to him. But and Justin Miller, unless you've ever watched somebody track,
he's as good as they get.
He sure is. But we had a good old time that day, and I ain't got nothing wrong with tracking with a dog, because, like I say, we used to hunt with a dog, everything. I had an old dog named Spud. He'd be waiting on me when I got off the school bus.
Yeah.
I'd go in there and change clothes, buddy.
I tell you, the dog tracking has really taken off, and I think it adds a lot to. I mean, there's a lot of deer recovered now that would not have been recovered, you know, in years past.
But a lot of people are scared to call one, because you hear these people say, well, a real hunter.
I know. I've heard that mess so much.
Real hunter don't need a dog. A real hunter uses a dog.
Yeah, a real hunter's going to do whatever it takes to get that deer out there.
Those deer are animals. They're so strong that, I mean, if you don't shoot them and kill them.
Well, and they're so good at hiding.
Yeah, I mean, they're gone. I mean, if you don't put the good shot on them.
Yeah, it's tough. It makes it awful tough.
travel.
Guys, we're going to go right now and do this week's tip of the week. This week's tip of the week's been brought to you by our buddy Wes Stone over at Cryolite Realtors. Y'all can find him at 1432 West Main Street in Lebanon, Tennessee, or give him a call, 615-289-9551, and let him take care of all your real estate needs. If you miss him, he's probably just in a deer stand, and he'll call you back when he gets back down, I promise, man. Oh, Wes, he gets after him hard, don't he, Randall?
I'm telling you.
Well, look, we're trying to share a lot of different information tonight, but Randall, what do you got for the tip of the week tonight?
Well, we might have already talked about it, but if you've got a place where no big buck is right now, stay out of it. Just go, if it's across the field, don't go any further than the first tree you can get to inside that field. Don't, if the wind's blowing back into the woods there where you think he's staying, don't hunt it.
Just wait.
But don't go in there tromping around in his place. He don't like that, and he won't stay there. But if you've got them scrapes like that, you're going to get that deer. That deer, he's going to be there. That's where he's at.
Yep. You don't have to go to him. Let him come to you.
That's right.
That's right on. Well, guys, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with some more Southern Woods and Waters.